why did Mafia flourish in Mumbai? Why not Delhi? Why not any other city?
Mumbai has a special place because it was the financial capital. Point one. Bollywood actually attracted the attention, easy attention, by becoming a hero or telling a story of a mafia man or anything like that. Bollywood was an easy vehicle in the beginning. Dawood Ibrahim personally, by arranging all the 4,000 kilos of RDX, that is 4 metric tons of RDX, and 2,000 hand grenades, 2,000 AK-47, all that was brought in 1992. Babri Masjid was brought down. So this kind of an import, arranging with the ISI, allowing, training people, doing all these things, it was all done by Mafia head called Dawood Ibrahim.
Dawood wanted to come back to India. Dawood was willing to surrender. But the police, the politicians and the administration didn't allow him to. Is that true?
To my knowledge, there was nothing called he wanted to come. If he wanted to come, there is nobody would stop him to stop him.
You know, there were a lot of allegations against police who were so-called encounter specialists in Mumbai, sir.
The ones who call themselves as encounter specialists have done the least. They got the highest amount of publicity because people like you pampered them, put them on the first page, and you gave them. I'll blame you, Ulta.
You gave us credit for a lot of things. Sir, I want to ask you a question.
Why you gave us credit? No, listen to me. You didn't give us credit in your question. Listen to me carefully. Let us be fair to each other. You didn't give credit to us for having saved the Mumbai city for 25 years by doing this or by doing any other operation. You squarely blamed us about the encounter specialists. I had to say the truth. You throw muck on me, I throw muck on you.
Absolutely, let's be fair, sir. Sir, then we also need to talk about the mafia police links. That you can't blame it on us. You also need to talk about the police acting as the lapdogs to politicians. That you can't blame it on us. You'll also need to talk about police actually.
If you are going to prove that the police is the worst agency of the government, I recommend you to close the police department if you are that bad.
Sir, can we boldly say that we won the war? Where is Dawood? He's still alive. Where is Tiger Memon? He's still alive and he's free. So a lot of these so-called dreaded mafias, Chota Shakil, all these dreaded mafias, they are free and they're going about their lives. Namaskar. Welcome to a special episode of Dialogue. Normally, my colleague Shubham does book reviews in HW News Network. I don't. But this book I thought was special. This book was special because this book spoke about a part of life which I have lived. I have seen, lived, no, but I have seen very closely. You see, in 1990s, Mumbai was infested with mafias, with dons, with underworld. We were infested. And from 1990s to 2025, where today there is no organized crime, literally no organized crime in Mumbai. That has been a huge transition. Not much has been spoken about this transition. Not much has been, not much credit has been given to Mumbai police and people who acted to ensure that we have this transition. So today, let's talk about mafia. Let's talk about Mumbai underworld. And let's talk about people who actually ensured that Mumbai literally got rid of underworld. Now, a lot of interviews, a lot of stories, one hears a lot of things about underworld and how they performed and what they did. And whenever you talk about police, let me tell you, you normally hear about cops who were tainted, about cops who were encounter specialists who killed for a prize and so on and so forth. These are the stories you normally hear. In all of these, the cops who laid their life, the cops who risked their entire youth or dedicated their entire lives to protect Mumbai, their stories are never told. We intend to speak about their stories. And there's this beautiful book written by Mr. D Sivanandhan. Mr. D Sivanandhan, who was a forerunner and one of the most famous faces, top cop, who actually brought about this change, who actually was, I would say, an integral part and a major part of bringing about this change from absolute underworld dominance to almost no underworld in Mumbai. He wrote this book, and I think a brilliant book, fabulous book, and I am going to review this book today with him. And let's get right into the show and talk about the Brahmastra Unleashed, which is the name of his new book. Let's talk. Sir, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me, Mr. D. Sivanandhan. Sir, we always know you as a super cop. So how come, when did you think of writing this book? Tell me that first before I get into the book.
Sujit, I've been wanting to write this book since long before. But I retired only in 2011. Until then, I could not write a book about what happened. Then I waited for a long time. Now I retired 14 years or 15 years. Then I thought before the memory lapses and all that, I should write a book because nobody else officially has written. There is no official version as to how this miracle of the change of crime has taken place and the elimination of the mafia took place. So I have done that and I have been there. If I don't tell official version, it will remain to be told. I'm also afraid that the next generation who are born after 2000, 25-year-old children just don't know anything about mafia, extortion, condemnation calls and various calls, extortion calls and all. They don't know. So we thought we'll tell you officially this is what happened. Many other books in this genre are written by the others who are interested parties. They write only about the other party, not about the police successes. So that is why I thought I will leave a trace, a complete official record as what exactly happened, what was the thought process, how bit by bit the same Mumbai police, which was maligned earlier, had done a wonderful job of completely eliminating, neutralizing the mafia in Mumbai.
Awesome, sir. This book, in fact, it looks good too, and very, very well written book, sir. The Brahmastra Unleashed. Sir, let's start from the beginning. And let's also go through, because I enjoyed reading this book because it was like reading a textbook on crime and mafias. Sir, you started with the crime, the genesis of mafia and mafia-led crime. Tell me, sir, what is the difference between mafia and a regular gang?
Regular gang is one which will do for things for a small little benefit also is enough for them. But when it comes to a company or a mafia or a don and all that kind of roles when they do, it is as per the MCOCA Act which we made, the definition says, it is humongous amount of profit and it has a control like a company where there is a CFO, CEO, law officer and various others, designated posts, and there is a stringent punishment meted out to people who violate their laws and the chasing of pecuniary gains, which is humongous. And the main part is use of violence. If violence is not there, it is petty crime, petty thief, petty thing, everything. If violence is used by a group of people, and that becomes the mafia, organized crime syndicates, or various other names you can call them.
Sir, Bombay has seen a lot of gangs and Bombay has seen mafia. Now, is there a specific difference between gang and mafia, or both are the same?
See, I mean, loosely saying gang is you and me, or an intellectual gang you are discussing about a book. So gang is used very loosely, a gang of friends hanging around. It's like a group of people doing a thing like that. A gang would mean a small petty criminal people coming together and doing things like that. Mafia is more structured, organized. There is a command and control. There is a reporting system. There is a reward and punishment and various things like that. So mafia is more structured. Like, for example, Sicilian mafia, the Chicago mafia, or various other, Japanese, it's called Yakuza. And in Russia, there is another set of mafia. So the mafia has a more of a structured, well-built, and reprimand is very, for example, for a serious crime, they can eliminate a member of their own gang. That would be a mafia.
Sir, then let's start, kind of getting into the genesis of this concept of organized crime, which mafias run. What is the genesis of this concept?
Sujit, genesis could be all over the world. For example, much spoken about the movie called Godfather, which describes about the Sicilian mafia in the United States of America. Chicago is the place where they started, 1970s, where the same thing, like the gangs came, they did indulge in gun running, and then they ran the area. Geography was divided into various prostitution, gambling, various dens, those areas were divided. And for supremacy, they fought against each other, and they shot each other, and they gained control. So basically, in that area, it was all about narcotics control, gun control, area control, gambling control, prostitution control. All these things came under the mafia. So we have seen the movie and enjoyed the movie called The Godfather, Marlon Brando and Al Pacino and all that. So in India also, the mafia started in the same way. They all began by controlling the illegal activities. I will give you a short list of illegal activities. Importing any good which is in demand, which is not legal. For example, 1980, benign things like wristwatches, radio, transistor, wall clock, washing machine, and so many things were not available. People from the Abu Dhabi and other places, UAE, Dubai and all, they used to bring it in crores and crores worth in ships and load it in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra and all those places, Maharashtra obviously. So then they sold these things. Later, Gold Control Act came thanks to Mr. Morarji Desai. Gold was brought in tons and tons, So then narcotics was brought, heroin, blue, this one, brown sugar, this, that, all those tablets and things like that. Then arms and ammunition was also brought for the mafia to run, and also for the anti-national elements like LTTE or Jammu Kashmir, terrorists, Alpha, Northeast, all those people needed guns. That was also brought. So this is cross-border business which is completely illegal. That is one, smuggling part. Then the local part is prostitution area or gambling area, dens or liquor, dancing bar and various other things which happened in Mumbai. Areas were divided amongst people. People will not go and dominate other area. For that, they indulged in bloodletting. Bloodletting is the correct word. They shot each other, eliminated each other, had upper hand each other, and all those things took place. That is the small beginning of the mafia in the world as well as in India. Then it grew as the government controls grew, and as the government policies changed, the mafia activities grew. Sometimes what is illegal is, say for example, if suddenly they say that this weed or this grass, it is all legalized. In the USA they are doing it. Then it goes out of the mafia activity. If any other thing, tomorrow prostitution is completely taken off the police control, or dancing bars, or various liquor-related businesses, then it all will go out of the mafia. Basically, mafia will collect and indulging in huge amount of money by way of doing illegal business.
Sir, then is there a geographical importance to the flourishment of mafia?
As far as the control is concerned, amongst them they fight it out. For example, south region will be with somebody, central area will be with somebody. For example, your Karim Lala and company will control this, and Dawood Ibrahim will control, Chota Rajan would control area like that.
My question was slightly different. My apologies for interrupting. My question was slightly different. Sir, why did mafia flourish in Mumbai? Why not Delhi? Why not any other city? Why Mumbai?
Oh my God. The whole book, I wish all your readers will read my book, which elaborately explains. Mumbai has a special place because it was the financial capital, point one. Then this peculiar land area where it is like a peninsular place, where in the north is attached to the earth and the south is going into the sea, where it is considered expensive to live in the south. Colaba, Marine Drive, Malabar Hill, all these places were expensive. So then people are trying to evict and do all mafia Gundagiri in those areas will get more money. The builders will get more money if they do reconstruction. So Mumbai, the third reason is the existence of Bollywood. Bollywood is a very, very important thing for everything, to catch the eye, to glitterazzi, and the newspaper, the magazines, and various other things all started from Mumbai. Was considered the gateway of India. Once upon a time, there were no international airports in Kochi, Trichy, or various places like that. Later on, all that happened. Mumbai, with its thriving airport, seaport, and the Samundar, and various other things, was considered very, very important for getting into the country. Gateway of India, that's what Mumbai was considered, gateway of India. And commercial capital. Here is a land of opportunities. Any poor person can come and start something and thrive and become a billionaire. Many people have proved it, because it's a land of opportunity. In local lingo, they would call it as a Maya Nagari.
Sir, I want to dwell on this Bollywood aspect. What exactly does Bollywood do to organized crime? How does it help?
Bollywood actually attracted the attention, easy attention, by becoming a hero or telling a story of a mafia man or anything like that. Bollywood was an easy vehicle in the beginning, 1940, 50, 60 and all that. It was catchy. Then they needed money, and when it became big, color movies and things like that, they borrowed money from the mafia at a usurious rate of 60%, 80% and things like that. And then they dominated by saying that my girl will be heroine and your boy will be director and music maker, selling rights, international rights, OTT platforms. So many things multiplied. It was they dominated the mafia by financing it and controlling it with their muscle power. When they lent money and when they were not able to recover, they used to use violence, power, the muscle power they would use. So that is where Bollywood served their purpose. Once when they gained control, because of financing and borrowing and various things like that, they dictated everything. What movie will make, what story will be there, make my story better and this and that and all that. So their own heroes started worshipping them, and they started behaving like them. They started acting like them. You know the names of those people who acted as criminals, gangsters, and became so famous. Movies that time like Mukaddar Ka Sikandar, Diwar, then Mumbai Once Upon a Time, and so many movies made by Ram Gopal Verma, all of them based on Satya, Company. So many movies were made, hundreds of other movies whose name I don't remember, were all made on that.
Sir, Company was inspired by you.
Correct, but that was inspired by me to say how the strategy-oriented police could control the mafia which has grown out of control. So this is a different genre altogether. But basically, it's a story of two gangsters, Dawood, Ibrahim and Chota Rajan, how they grew and how they fell out. So, say, for example, there was a movie, hold on, 1 minute. There was a movie called Nayakan in Tamil Nadu where Kamal Haasan acted as Varadarajan Mudaliyar. Nayakan, no? That was made into Hindi called Dayavan. Maybe Feroz Khan or somebody like that acted in that. So, or Vinod Khanna, or somebody like that acted. I'm not very sure about that. So these things all eulogize the existence and the Robin Hood nature of these people, and they were funded and financed by these people, so that the acceptance of the people of this mafia as a Robin Hood is easy for them to achieve.
So I just drifting a minute from the book, I wanted to ask you, did you ever have a personal experience with a gangster? Is there any story that you can talk about where?
See, I can talk 1,000 stories. I can talk about 1,000 stories of my interaction with them, but that is only after I have arrested them. They were in my custody and they interrogated, I prosecuted, I charge sheeted. But out of the way, having a talk with them on phone, or out of the way establishing relationship with them or negotiating, that was not my cup of tea. That was not my remit, and I would not do that. And meeting even the cinema stars and hobnobbing friendly with them was not also my cup of tea. So all these areas were away from my liking. I was only a police officer owing to the constitution and the law of the land, and a bit of a caduce man about that.
Sir,
Touch me not, I would say.
during interrogation, during interacting with these people, is there any incident that you remember that stayed in your memory?
I remember 1,000 incidents, Sujit, and they are all people basically. Many of them were coming out of poverty and very poor background. Their parents were jobless, and out of penury or poverty, they have taken to the guns, and easily they got into a gun, a girlfriend, and a mobile, and they started threatening people. And then someone gave them the idea that you can go abroad and call through virtual private network. You will not be in the clutches of the Indian police and things like that. And they made it rich. And a lot of technology helped them. A lot of law enforcement officers helped. They could anoint a person to manage the judicial process. Most of the cases against many of the gangsters are acquitted because they stoically followed it through a person. Lawyers branded as a organized crime camp lawyers, they helped them in getting all the acquittal. Main reason for all the acquittal, before you ask me, I would say it is a prolonged trial, 20 years, 15 years, 10 years. Many of the witnesses lost interest, the IO lost interest, or transferred, or retired. So these are the reasons. So when I interrogated them, mostly I asked them all about operations, their people, their hideout, their weapon supply, and things like that. And they give adequate information when they are in custody.
Sir, is there a common thread? Is there a typical characteristic of an underworld, of a underworld don, if you were to
Underworld don is ruthless when it comes to taking the enemy by horn, or they are friendly with their own people. They are humane when it comes to taking their own people, and when it comes to dealing with the police, they have an unwritten rule that they will never harm the police. They also have the unwritten rule that they will never harm each other's families, the wives, children, and relatives, and various others. And this is the kind of basic unwritten rules they followed. For example, one story is in Chowpatty, one of the man related to a business was shot, but the shooter got the bullet by ricochet. That is, the bullet shot at the victim, recoiled and came back and hit him. It went through the thigh. So his boss, who was under the threat of getting shot by the other gangs, heard about it. He drove a motorcycle, went to the medical shop, bought that injection for anti-rusting, and then came and administered the injection for anti-rusting and various other things, and then took care of him and went away. So when we arrested that man who was injured, he went on with gratitude saying that my boss came on a motorcycle, risked his life, he could have been shot, but he came, bought that anti-tetanus. Yeah, now I get the correct word. Anti-tetanus injection. He administered, did bandage and so many things, got the bullet removed. All that he was telling, he would give his life once more time. Of course, at that time he didn't lose his life, but he was about to. But his loyalty was there because his boss took care of him. So I learned a lesson. Listen to me. One short story, one short drift, as we call that. Some other time in one of the operations, my own Havaldar got a bullet by mistake in this operation. So I was not risking any. I was the joint CP crime. I went there to Sion, met the medical director of Sion Hospital, administered all those things, paid money for him, took care of him, all that. Later recommended him for a gallantry medal, which he got. So these are the lessons you learn from those people. Of course, as a uniform police, we are all duty bound to do it, but that going extra mile and holding his hand and then meeting his family, nothing will happen to them. I spoken to the medical superintendent and things like that, goes a bit more.
Sir, has your such a illustrious career, have you ever been scared? Has any incident scared you?
No, Sujit. It is not a very it is not a put-up kind of a thing, but either you are in it fully, openly, or you are dar gaya, jo dar gaya, wo mar gaya. So that is the kind of thing. So the only, I got this as a chance and an opportunity given to me by the circumstances and the God and the administration. This was run by Mr. Manohar Joshi and Mr. Gopinath Munde, who was the Deputy CM and Home Minister. And then my DGP was Mr. Aravind Inamdar, a fearless officer. My own boss, direct boss during when I was joint CP was Mr. R.H. Mendonça, absolutely non-corrupt, straightforward, fully supportive. Under his leadership, under his command only, I worked. He gave me full freedom, do whatever you like. But he knew very well that I will not do any violation of the law. So under these circumstances, when I was doing my job and then honestly, without taking a single paisa or a glass of water from anybody, there is nothing to be afraid of. If you are afraid and do a double thing, like for example, I tell you that I am protecting you, you go home, nothing will happen to you, and I take a Z-scale security, aage piche gaadi, upar niche a policeman, how will you believe that I am a fearless cop and I can save you? I walked the talk by going all alone without any protection whatsoever all my career. Fear has no place in a policeman's life, Sujit. We all die only once.
Sir, let's continue with this concept of fear. Now let's come to terrorist.
Why you got?
Sir,
you say in the story or what? You got?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't. I wanted to.
I'm telling you the truth.
No, I wanted to cover. I actually wanted to go through the book. I wanted to cover the book more because I'm sure our viewers would love to hear more about the book. So therefore, I was kind of dragging myself back to the book. Honestly, I would love to go on talking about stories because that's what's more interesting. But sir, terrorist and mafia, how are they related? Are they related? Is there a link?
Yes. Sir. I can tell you if you give me a minute's time, Sujit. For example, in the year 1993, March 12th, the biggest bomb blast ever in the world, the chain bomb blast of 12 blasts took place between 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And the number of people who died was 257 people. 857 people were injured of bomb blasts. Many people were missing. Much of property was lost in Bombay Stock Exchange, Air India, our hotel. Opposite Taj Bandra, Sea Rock Hotel vanished completely, and so many other places it happened. That is the biggest ever attack in the world in a terrorist activity. WTC was 2001. This is 1992. So American FBI deputy directors, 4 of them came. I went with them, showed all the evidence and all that. Now, why am I telling this? This is enabled by the Dawood Ibrahim personally, by arranging all the 4,000 kilos of RDX, that is 4 metric tons of RDX, and 2,000 hand grenades, 2,000 AK-47, all that was brought in 1992, December, after the Babri Masjid was brought down and left in Dighi, and with the help of the customs officers, additional collector Somanath Tappa, it was brought, and Tiger Memon had kept it. At an opportune moment, they opened it up on March 12th at 2 o'clock, at 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, 12 blasts took place. Luckily, they used only 300 kilos. We recovered 3,700 kilos of RDX, and slowly we recovered the weapons from all over the country. In 1998, when I became Joint CP, we did recover AK-47s, 108 grenades, and so many other equipment which was belonging to that area, belonging to that time. So this kind of an import, arranging with the ISI, allowing, training people, doing all these things, it was all done by Mafia head called Dawood Ibrahim. Our people from Mumbai had gone and met him, and there was meetings there, and this was all organized as per their demand. So this was preceded by a riot on December 6th by the minority community. After 15-20 days in January 1993 by the Hindu community. All that is part of our judicial inquiry. Mr. Sri Krishna Commission report. I am telling all about Sri Krishna Commission report. But then this is the biggest terrorist attack organized by the Mafia gang. ISI of Pakistan was fully involved because all the guns, all the hand grenades, all that was produced in their factory and wrapped absolutely in their material and brought here. We had full evidence about it. Like that, IC-814 hijacking also, all the passports and all, their safe haven here in Mumbai, all the 5 hijackers were in Mumbai. They got Indian passport, Hindu names. And some Pakistanis were staying in Bashir Bagh when I raided the place. And we recovered AK-47, hand grenades and so much weapons in Jogeshwari, Malad and all that. This is all the hands of Mafia only.
So,
Mafia has a link. Mafia does support the terrorist activities. They give them the wherewithal, local support. All the sleeper cells are helped by Mafia. So there is a big connection between the two.
Mafia and the underworld. Sir, tell me, Dawood wanted to come back to India. Dawood was willing to surrender, but the police, the politicians, and the administration didn't allow him to. Is that true?
Listen, whenever people wanted to entertain the people and get TRP rating to go up, either they will say that he wanted to there, he negotiated with XYZ, ABCD, they said no and all that. And then they will also, you know very well, recently in the last 5-6 years, they will say he passed away and he's not there. 3 days they will run, quietly they will close the matter and come again once again after 1 year. These are all TRP related matter. There was, to my knowledge, there was nothing called he wanted to come. If he wanted to come, there is nobody would stop him from coming here. And whatever course of law would have happened that way. And Abu Salam came. He's alive. He wanting to go back. In the same way, his brother Iqbal Kaskar is here, and he is safe and sound. So many people who came on their own or by extradition are all here. They have gone through the legal processes and staying here. I would not say what would have happened to Dawood Ibrahim if he had come at all. That is a conjecturing. I will not indulge in that. But if he wanted to come and wanted to go through the legal process, he would have done. Negotiating with this politician, that police didn't want. Where is the police? Is there a consultation with all the politicians that can I bring Dawood Ibrahim? Do I have your approval? It's all ridiculous, Sujit. All criminals who wanted to come have come back. They are all there. They are all there. I gave you the names.
Sir, we spoke about the nexus between mafia and terrorists. Sir, what about the nexus between mafia and politician? Did you experience this?
Mafia and politicians.
And politicians. Yeah. Did you experience this in your career?
Officially, I can't speak about this on record. But don't ask me the names. There are so many mafia people, criminal background. Many are MPs, MLAs, MPs and all. It's a matter of knowledge to everyone. And some of the mafia-related people have become ministers, chief ministers and various other ministers in various state governments and various other places. These are all well known. But then the politicians did use mafia earlier also. When I mentioned about narcotics, gun running and all that, even booth capturing and politically, mafia did help them in various places. In places like Bihar, UP and other places, there is land mafia, there is forest mafia, coal mafia, sand mafia, so many mafia. These mafias do help the politicians to come up. And so I don't want to get into the names in various people. Even here after the shootout of JJ Hospital, that Thakur and various others went to Delhi and stayed in a member of parliament's house and then went and met somebody else. These are all written in books. I have not written about that in my book. So what we are discussing is not part of my book.
It's not.
You're taking me away from my book.
I was. Anyway, sir. Okay, we'll go back to your book, sir. You spoke about the murders that shook Mumbai, and I remember you personally talking to me about one of the murders that actually shook you too. Can you talk about it?
See, there is hundreds of murders. In 1 year of 1998, there were 101 murders by shooting alone. If there were stabbing, hanging, various other murders, we never counted that as a mafia murder. Only when gun violence was there, 101, that was the peak. Earlier also, there were any number of murders every year. For example, 95, if you remember, Sunit Katau, the mill owner, was killed right outside the Mahalakshmi station in his Mercedes Benz. And Gulshan Kumar was shot outside the temple which he built in Andheri. And Taqiyuddin Wahid, who was East West Airlines general manager and managing director, CEO, he was shot dead behind the Bandra additional commissioner's office. And like that, Vallabh Thakkar, who was one of the biggest builders, or Om Prakash Kureja, and Natwarlal Shah, Manish Lala, so many builders, so many film personalities. For example, Rakesh Roshan was shot as a token in 2000, and so many people died also in that. Mukesh Dugal died, and so many others died in the film. Rajiv Roy was attempted to be shot. Like that, this was been going on and on and on and on. But the book says the very same thing, how strategy was used under the leadership of people whom I mentioned earlier, Mr. R.S. Mendonça or Mr. Raman Singh or me and various others. We gave the leadership and direction, and the very same Mumbai police which was accused of being partisan to this gang or that gang, they got into act. They rose as one man with the given strategies of new law, various other help we gave or support we gave. They eliminated the presence of mafia completely. The result is from 101 murders in 98, it became 48 in 99, it became 26 in 2000, 2001 it became 12, from 2002 to 2025 it was 0, except one odd our JJ night, J day murder. All other things were absolutely 0. The latest one which happened was Lawrence Bishnoi and Baba Siddiqui of Bandra. That is January 2025. So earlier, when the builders were not able to sell one flat because the extortion was there, cars were not sold because extortion, and various other marriages did not take place, all that came to a grinding halt. Now, if you look at the skyline, it is all 70 floors, 80 floors, and cars are all Mercedes and BMW. That kind of a change in the history and the flourishing capital, financial capital of the country was saved and brought back on the lines of business. That is the story which is told in the book.
Sir, you spent a chapter on Justice Aguar Commission report. Sir, what exactly was that report all about, and how did it make a difference to?
That's a great question you asked, Sujit. If I had started, I would have taken a long time to explain, but you are giving me an opportunity. See, when these gangsters were shooting, Mumbai police also was going into defending themselves under Section 100 of the Indian Penal Code. That is called an encounter. Otherwise, legally, it is called the right of private defense. In one of those exercises, a person called Javed Fauda was shot by a very famous police officer, Vasant Doble, as inspector. And then Abu Azmi, the Samajwadi Party leader, filed a PIL. And also one lawyer, PUCL lawyer, filed a case of PIL. All of them were clubbed together. Bombay High Court gave that job of inquiry to Mr. Aguiar, who was the principal sessions judge in the Sessions Court. Later, he became High Court judge. We worked together in some commission and things like that. He inquired and said not only Javed Fauda encounter was a murder, fake encounter, 95 others were also fake. So, you asked me about fear. All the policemen got into their fear, and they said, we will not do anything, no aggressive action, we will not go and arrest and all that. They went into hiding. They took a holiday. That is the time these guys went on a rampage and went into people, houses, officers, shooting them. 101 shootouts took place, and the money collected was running into hundreds of crores. This was going into terrorism financing, this was going into money laundering, this was going into hawala and various other things. It was detrimental to the country's security, and that is why this matter is very important for us. Now, to bring the morale of the police, to bring them back to defend themselves and doing their legal activity of arresting them, getting shot or returning the shot, we had to promise that they will be coming out of that 95 murder cases charges. This was put under trial, and Mr. Mendonca and me and various others saw to it that Mr. V.R. Manohar, one of the top grade lawyers belonging to Nagpur, he appeared for us free of cost. Noble man is still there, and we won the case in the court of Mrs. Ranjana Desai. Later, she became the Supreme Court judge, and one more judge. We got a favorable order after 1 or 2 years of prolonged hearing. This went in appeal. 14 years later, Justice R.M. Lodha of Supreme Court agreed with the finding of the Mumbai High Court and gave us directions. Mrs. Ranjana Desai and the other judge gave 6 directions as to if there is an encounter ever, the following steps have to be taken. That was all followed after that. When I did all these operations, we followed the law to the T, and then we did all the operations of arresting, charge sheeting, getting convicted, and things like that, about which if you give me an opportunity, I'll tell you what are the strategies. So this is the Justice Aguiar Commission report and what impact it had on us on the policing. We reversed the order, we reversed the fear. That judgment of Justice Anjana Desai and later by Supreme Court judge is the beacon light for the entire country to do anything called encounter.
Sir, to be very frank with you, while it sounds good, but it is not that most of the police who practiced shooting out and encounters, there were a lot of allegations against police who were so-called encounter specialists in Mumbai, sir. And a lot of them, the kind of cases.
Listen to me, please. Kindly give me an opportunity. The ones who call themselves as encounter specialists have done the least. They got the highest amount of publicity because people like you pampered them, put them on the first page, and you gave them. I will blame you, Ulta, saying that you, the journalists and various others, have only given them whatever benefits you got, and they were made into movies and all that kind of a thing. And then they all, wherever they went out of the way, they got stuck in punishments, various other things. They were removed, they were suspended, and they are in jail, and so many things. Lakanbaya murder, the officer concerned was there in jail for 4.5 years. So like that, whatever wrong things they did. But when people generally speak, they all say, oh, encounter specialists. Believe me, during my time, when we are talking about those 3 years, 60% of the so-called encounters were done by the police station staff. One odd man here in Bandra, one odd man in Kandivali and things like that. But they didn't go to the press with a smoking gun and gave a publicity and the front page and all. That was orchestrated by the others, but they all suffered. I can tell you names of people who were arrested.
Sir,
you know very well.
Since you gave us credit for a lot of things, sir, I want to ask you a question.
Why you gave us credit? No, listen to me. You didn't give us credit in your question. Listen to me carefully. Let us be fair to each other. You didn't give credit to us for having saved the Mumbai city for 25 years by doing this or by doing any other operation. You squarely blamed us about the encounter specialists. I had to say the truth. You only gave the glitzy papers, only gave them the first paper thing. And you only made movies, dramas and things like that. Let us be fair.
Absolutely.
You throw muck on me, I throw muck on you.
Absolutely. Let's be fair, sir. Sir, then we also need to talk about the mafia police links. That you can't blame it on us. You also need to talk about the police acting as the lapdogs to politicians. That you can't blame it on us. You'll also need to give, talk about police actually.
If you are going to prove that the police is the worst agency of the government, I recommend you to close the police department if you are that bad. But my story and the book is very simple, Sujit. The very same police you are describing as black sheep is the one who gave you freedom for this many years. You and me are alive and doing these talk shows. So many industrialists are thriving because of the very same police whom we are blaming, who did a wonderful job. I am patting them on the back. My book says it is the Mumbai police who have done this job. I have dedicated in the first page, if you see, Mumbai police is my family. I dedicate this book to them. So the police is the one who saved you. Now, retrospectively, after 25 years, saying that you didn't do that, you didn't that, they were bad at all. They are the ones who risked their lives and saved all the industrialists and the politicians and others. Mind you, if you are talking about police, politicians were the ones who were getting killed in 1998. 5, 6, 7, 8 MLAs belonging to BJP, Shiv Sena were shot dead by these people. They were afraid. And it is the same police who went out and risked and saved them. Whatever I did or whatever we are discussing, Sujit, it was legal, above board, non-corrupt activity by the police. If you are dragging me to Haji Mastan days or Karim Lala's days of some names and others, I am not responsible for the entire history of Mumbai police, whatever it was.
No, of course you're not, and I don't intend to do that either, sir. But I just I'm amused at times, when citizens are normally expected to thank everybody, thank the Prime Minister for the lovely work he's doing, thanks the Home Minister for the lovely service he's doing, thanks the Chief Minister, thank the MLA, thank the corporator, thank the Havaldar, thank the police, thank the local IAS officers, administrative officers, collector. You see, the fact is, unfortunately or fortunately for citizens, we end up only thanking. Anyway, sir, that's not the issue at all. Sir, the issue here is again, I want to talk.
Listen to me. Let us not be pessimistic about the administration. Wherever they deserve thanking and gratitude and appreciation, we have to give. I never said you thank the entire Jing Bang lot whom all you mentioned. I mentioned only about your accusation that the policeman encounter specialists were all black sheep. I said in simple terms that black sheep were punished immediately for all the wrongdoing they're doing. But the others who did the same job were all flourishing. They never violated any law. Whoever violated law got punished.
Fair enough, sir. That punishment bit, I still have a lot of debate, but let's not get there. Let's move on with our story. Because sir, I want to talk about MCOCA, which there is a special mention in your book. Sir, a lot of people say MCOCA was an unfair law. What is your opinion? What is your take?
MCOCA was the finest law made in the independent India, and that stood the trial by the Supreme Court and various other courts, and many other states copied lock, stock and barrel. The number of arrests done during my time or later is minimal. A few dozen cases and a few dozen arrests only. The inbuilt check and balances is like no other law, and this is never, if somebody would say about the religious and all that, that is absolutely wrong. And earlier, Tada, Pota and all, thousands of people were arrested. Here, only dozens of people were arrested. And the law was implemented fantastically, and it was supposed to be ended, the trial has to be ending in a year or so, but now because of the backlog, it is taking a little bit longer time. But in the beginning, when I implemented it in Milind Vaidya's case, 1 year of registration, the case got convicted, all the accused, 10 of them were given hanging. Later on, life sentence it was converted to, and a collective fine of 1 crore 5 lakhs was levied upon that.
Sir, you have literally called MCOCA the Brahmastra. That's what you believe MCOCA did, or that's what you believe MCOCA was to Indian or rather Mumbai underworld. Is that what you're saying, sir?
Yes, Sujit, I say that encounter, since you blackened it by your painting brush, I also have done it in a very sophisticated way, saying that it is not encounters which has done. The mopping up of weapons to the tune of 2,500 in 3 years. Removed them, they made them armless because it was all illegal weapons. The detention done by the Commissioner of Police, 1,600 of them, that is 1,600 man-years spent behind the bars. Legal process, 95% success in the High Court, and the MCOCA being enacted and used in a very. If you see my own book, it gives you in the first year only 12 cases were registered. Next year 16 cases only registered. Arrest would be 44 or 62 or 63. Only this much in Mumbai. In Maharashtra also, more or less the same number. very, very measured kind of activity was done. Only interested parties would say that MCOCA was a draconian law and all that. I want to tell you, getting anybody into the MCOCA also is a very difficult process. The checks and balance is unbelievably big. Okay, now that you have told MCOCA is a draconian law, listen to me carefully. The new law called BNS, section 109 and 110, has summed up MCOCA, removed all the restrictions, and made organized crime and petty organized crime into draconian offences under normal Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, which is the old IPC. Now, what do you say about that? MCOCA
No, I have
has lots of
nothing to say about it.
About misuse. Huh?
I have absolutely nothing to say about it. I have absolutely nothing to say about it because, sir, my entire thought process comes from the fact that you see, you had a MCOCA, now you have a UAPA. You had a PMLA, you had an ED, now you have something which is much more draconian. So I guess I am kind of just I'm seeing the transformation, and which scares me. So that's the point I was making, sir. I want to ask you my last question.
No, listen to me. Let us not leave it at that. Any law you say it is unconstitutional, ultra virus can be removed by the Supreme Court, and none of them have been removed. MCOC has been challenged in the Supreme Court by Bharat Shah when we arrested him, and the topmost lawyers, the highest lawyers in the country, have appeared against the law MCOCA. Supreme Court had heard it. And then they confirmed all these things, and the MCOCA continues in Maharashtra, also in the other states. If it is that bad, that ultra virus, that wrong, that everything, Supreme Court could have struck it down. Very easily they could have struck it down.
Sir, I am not. My thing was, sir, I am not that. You see, I have seen a lot of, ED, the unilateral powers given to ED, the unlimited powers given to ED was also challenged in Supreme Court. What happened? Supreme Court restored that, which Supreme Court has made no changes. So the fact remains that, see, somewhere down the line, I don't know.
Listen to me. If you don't trust Supreme Court, then what do I say? You go to Privy Council. Supreme Court is ultimate.
I trust Supreme Court.
ED का power किसने दिया? Supreme Court ने दिया.
Sir, I trust Supreme Court.
No, but the Supreme Court has.
I will not.
Correct. But I am getting frustrated by listening to you that the Supreme Court has approved ED. So then where do you go next? So these are all laws made by the due legal process by the Maharashtra Assembly or the Parliament, and they are being implemented. There can be some small wrong things happening in ED or in MCOCA or anything like that. I'm not saying everything is hunky-dory, but it is ultimately implemented by the police, who are human beings. Anyway, why are we bringing ED into our discussion? I never mentioned ED in my book, my dear Sujit sir.
No, since we had a discussion on, it was just a reference point.
Come on,
sir.
Please go.
My last question I want to ask you, sir, was that we say we won the war, which we did. To that extent, what we were way back in 90s and what we are today. Of course, Mafia has almost been eliminated from Mumbai. There is no doubt about it. But that being said, sir, can we boldly say that we won the war? Where is Dawood? He's still alive. Where is Tiger Memon? He's still alive and he's free. So a lot of these so-called dreaded mafias, Chota Shakil, all these dreaded mafias, they are free and they're going about their lives. So would it be fair to conclude?
Can I tell you something, interrupting you, Sujit?
Sir.
The remit of the Mumbai police is limited to Mumbai is limited only. You can't ask me to go to Karachi and Pakistan and bomb his house and come back. That is somebody else's job. Chota Shakil and Dawood Ibrahim are in Pakistan. Chota Rajan was in Malaysia, Cambodia. He has come back and he is there in the jail. And if other people are all elsewhere, you can't ask me to get into those areas and kill them and come back. It's none of my job. I never had a passport at all. I never traveled abroad. It is not my remit. But my remit is to see that an ordinary Mumbaiker, whether he is an industrialist, rich or poor, or old or young, should not be hounded, frightened, and not allowed to run his business. That we established. That is my claim. Nobody is shot for 25 years. If it is not a big achievement for you, I don't know what to say. But the same Mumbai suffered 100 shootouts at the time, and the same media went to town that this is the 87th murder and 97th murder. Where is Mumbai safe? Switch off the lights, Mumbai. You are unsafe in the night. That was the headline I have seen in Bombay Times that time when I came. Black Diwali was being announced to be celebrated, but 800 trade organizations in Birla Krida Kendra of Chowpatty, Manohar Joshi Saab and Munde Saab and others were there sitting on the stage. When Bollywood personalities were shot, the entire Bollywood said we will shift to Hyderabad because it is not a safe place here. We made it safe.
Correct.
So if half glass empty or half glass full is seen, my half glass is full.
Excellent, sir. I'm
There is
really
no call
grateful
again.
because
Before listen to me, please. Before you say anything negative about the Mumbai police, I want to say it is the same people who are safe to run the business, bring 77 floor structure, bring BMW and all the builders. You ask them, they all got threat. We gave them protection, and they are all thriving there. They have never been shot after 1999. After I joined the Joint CP Crime, no builder has been shot at all. But earlier, the multi-billionaires were shot dead in their office or in the car. If you don't appreciate this, and if you say, why I have not gone to kill Dawood Ibrahim in Pakistan, I would have been happy if somebody had given me a passport and permission to go to a foreign country and eliminate somebody. That's not my job. But I want to put it on the record to you because you are talking negatively. Government of India did diplomatically whatever has to be done. They sent reams of paper, tons of evidence. But if the enemy country called Pakistan is protecting him and keeping him in the safe house, they could not do that. And no operation. I was not entitled to go there and do an operation to eliminate him. None of my job. But I wouldn't be doing that. What is my job only I did.
Sir, I really appreciate Mumbai police doing their job, which is protecting Mumbai, and the fact that it is indeed sad that the government of India couldn't do theirs of getting convicts, getting mafias, people who've killed Indians, people who've killed in Mumbai, who now are living happily in Islamabad and other places. I mean, it's sad that the government of India couldn't do that. But that being said, sir, I think end of the day, a fabulous job done and a beautiful book, sir. A beautiful book. I hope I have not offended you with my questions, but it is really a beautiful book.
Not at all. Really a beautiful book. I request you to recommend this book to the readers. It is little told late by a few years, but there was no opportunity to tell this way. This is the best opportunity I have taken to give. All the stories are authentic. Kindly tell your readers that this is an authentic version of what happened. It is not a cock and bull story told by anybody who is unrelated. I did from a place of responsibility. I did the job, and with the place of from the place of responsibility, I have written this book also. All the anecdotes and stories given are from judgments, from copies of judgments they were taken, and this is an authentic story. Thank you.
No, this is definitely, sir. I genuinely recommend this book because. Sir, what is impressive about this book is facts and figures. This is something that you can always refer to almost at any given point in time. You've given facts, you've given figures, you attach documents, and that itself is the uniqueness of this book. And sir, brilliantly written. You write well, anyways.
So much.
I have not
I have not purposely given the photographs of all the gangsters because I didn't want to sell the book with the faces of those people. There is no photograph at all. Nobody, my photograph, nor their photograph. This is a story well told with its own pure merit. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. And this book is available in Amazon. This book is available in Crossword. Is it so, sir? Crossword, is this book available? Kitab Khana, Crossword, and Amazon.
All the leading bookshops in the country, it is available. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Indeed. Pleasure talking to you.